Hi everyone, I'm Robert Moody. I am the music director of the Memphis Symphony Orchestra, and I'm so glad to talk to you right now in our series that we call Know the Score. This is our series where I get to give you a little more insight into upcoming concerts. Talking right now about Masterworks 1, that's our kickoff of our marquee series, the Masterworks series, when, of course, as the name implies, we play for you the music of the masters. But also, I hope that you're going to see in this season, my first as music director, that we want to make sure that we give you the great masterworks and we also become the most relevant 21st century orchestra that we can become. That is to say, we introduce you to some amazing works that maybe you haven't known before. This is absolutely going to be the truth with our opening Masterworks series happening on Saturday night, September 30 at the Cannon Center and Sunday, October 1st at GPAC. The master in this Masterworks concert is Anthony Dvorak. Anthony Dvorak, the great Czech composer of the 19th century, actually came to America in the late 19th century. In 1890, Dvorak came to America and he taught at the New York School of Music. He spent 3 years in America and he really learned a great amount about the American culture. He also was very aware of the fact that young American composers were not finding success writing for orchestras. He addressed this near the end of his time in America, and at seminars with young composers, he said to them, "Stop trying to copy the European composers to find your voice." He specifically said, "Stop trying to sound like Beethoven or Brahms or me, Dvorak." Instead, he said, "Dig into your own soil." I love the words that he used. Dig into your own soil to find your voice. At that point, he specifically referenced Native American rhythms and early African American slave spirituals. And composers began to pay attention to him. And if you think about it, after the 1890s came Scott Joplin, came George Gershwin, came ragtime, jazz, blues, R&B, soul, and so many other great forms of music that we proudly claim as uniquely American. Dvorak tried to give us a sense of how to sound American himself when he wrote a symphony based upon his time here in America. It's his Symphony No. 9, famously known as the New World Symphony, and that's how we are opening our season. One of the great works in the repertory by a European composer who came to America and had a vested interest in helping young Americans find the American sound. Now, the second half of the concert is going to be really interesting, really phenomenal music, a great collaboration with another partner here in Memphis, and an artistic experience and a historic experience that I think you're going to be remembering for a very long time after the concert. So after the first half of the concert, when we played Dvorak's New World Symphony, on the second half we're playing a work by a living composer, a friend of mine. His name is Peter Boyer. Peter Boyer has been quite successful in his career, especially when it comes to works that have great historic content. We're playing a piece of his called Ellis Island, Dream of America. This is the story, as you might infer from the title, of several immigrants who came to America through Ellis Island. Peter Boyer went and very deeply researched the Ellis Island project and learned the stories of 7 different individuals, a Polish immigrant, a Jewish immigrant, an Italian immigrant, an Irish immigrant. You get the picture. And he turned these into monologues for actors to recite while accompanied by very stirring and appropriate music. So we have 7 actors joining us. They are from Playhouse in the Square, and we're so grateful to Playhouse in the Square for doing this great collaboration with us. And the actors will deliver these monologues. At the end of the work, the actors actually divide up the famous poem by Emma Lazarus, The New Colossus. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. This is the way we finish this incredible work. I called Peter Boyer several months ago and told him how excited I was that we were doing the work in Memphis, but I wondered if he might add one more narration to the work. I mentioned to him that here in Memphis, it's important that we celebrate all cultures, and I felt we were missing one important part of the Memphis culture, maybe the most important part of the Memphis culture, the African American experience. And especially in this year, as we are beginning to ramp up towards the commemoration and memory of MLK 50, the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Dr. King, I wanted to make sure this was part of the experience. Peter told me, and rightfully so, that he had researched the Ellis Islands project and found no great story of someone who had come from Africa through Ellis Island to become an American citizen. As we all know, most terribly, Africans came to the United States in a very different and horrible way. Nonetheless, we want to celebrate this part of the experience as well. So we had an idea. We have added more music to the piece, and we've added an 8th actor, an actress in this case, from Playhouse in the Square, and she will be, instead of giving one of the monologues I mentioned, she will be narrating the great poem by Maya Angelou, On the Pulse of the Morning. Maya Angelou, the phenomenal poet laureate at one point of the United States, she read this poem for the first time at the inauguration of President Bill Clinton in 1993. I happened to be there at that inaugural, and it made an impact upon me that I still feel and remember to this day. So in this case, there's a specific Memphis premiere, if you will, of the Peter Boyer work, plus the additional narration of the words of the great Maya Angelou. Dvorak, Angelou, Boyer, Ellis Island, Dream of America. See you at the concerts.